8th graders, this is your video tutorial on how to use Audacity for your Elements project for Mrs. Martin's science project. So if you're working on a PC, which you guys are, down in the bottom left hand corner there's a start menu. Go ahead and click your start menu and type in AU. Audacity is going to be the very first program that's pulled up, and when you double click on it, your dashboard is going to look just like this. This is the Audacity dashboard. What Audacity allows you to do is it allows you to import audio, it allows you to record audio, and then it allows you to edit that audio and then export it into a file or as a file that your teacher can then listen to and grade your advertisement. Up in the top, you're going to notice that there are several buttons. There's the pause button, the play button, the stop button, which is actually really important. We'll learn why later on. The rewind, the fast forward, and the record. The other buttons that you're going to become familiar with when using Audacity are the scissors. Notice that on my dashboard, the scissors, the copy, and the paste buttons are right here, but you guys might actually find them underneath your pause and play buttons. So find your scissors, your copy, and your paste buttons. The other button that I want you to be aware of is this magnifying one. This is going to allow you to magnify the sound waves so that you can better edit them if you need to. Alright, we're going to go ahead and begin by just pushing record, and as soon as you push record, you're going to see that the sound waves are going to pop up and everything you say is going to be recorded. Now that's going to include any background noise you have, so if your mother's calling you, if your dog is barking in the background, if your little sibling is yelling and having a fit, all of that is going to be recorded. Notice that as you're recording, the sound waves are popping up, and when you want to stop recording, you have to click stop. Okay, once you click stop, the audio recording stops, and you'll notice up here there's a timeline. This timeline indicates how many seconds your recording is. So this recording lasts 19 seconds. Okay. The other thing I want you to notice in this recording as I go over is that all of these kind of flat waves, these flat lines indicate either pause in my speech or an area where there was no noise, and that can be edited and trimmed out, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Once you have your recording, in order to listen to it, you want to go ahead and put your cursor wherever it is you want to start listening to. In this case, I'm starting at about 4 seconds in, and you just want to hit play. So if your mother's calling you, if your dog is barking in the background, if your little sibling is yelling and having a fit, all of that is going to be recorded. Okay. Notice that every time there was a pause in my speech, that flat wave appears, and again, we can take that out. Now, in order for you to comply with the rubric that Mrs. Martin has given you, you're going to have to add in 2 effects into your recording. Up at the top, there's a button called Effect, and when you push that button, you'll notice that these are the sound effects you can add to your recording. You can amplify, auto duck, you can do all of these things, fade in, fade out, and remember that for your project, you need 2 sound effects. Now, to add a sound effect, you can just select the part of your audio recording that you want that effect to go to. And you do this by clicking and dragging until that section of your audio recording is highlighted. That highlighted portion of your audio is going to receive whatever action you determine. So if this is the part that you want to add the effect to, you just go ahead and highlight it, and then you can click Effect and add an effect. In this case, I'm going to make this effect echo. Okay, this pops up. I'm going to say yes, okay, that's the part that I want echoed, and I'm going to start right here. I'm going to push play, and now all of this right here should be echoed. If your dog is barking in the background, if your little sibling is yelling and having a fit, all of that is going to be recorded. Okay, so now that all of that has that effect, and if that's what you want, you're going to keep it that way. The other button that I want to direct your attention to, we talked about earlier, is the stop button. Sometimes you're going to try to do something in Audacity. You might try to record or pause, and nothing is happening. It won't let you highlight. That's because your stop button is not paused. So whenever it appears that Audacity is not working, check to make sure that that stop button is actually pushed. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and talk about the cut, copy, and paste buttons. Let's say that I decided that echo isn't really what I want and I just want to cut that entire part out. Remember that whenever you highlight in Audacity, whatever is highlighted is going to receive the action. So if I want to double check to make sure this is my echoed part, I'm going to highlight it and then I'm going to push play. In the background, if your little sibling is yelling and having a fit, all of that is going to be recorded. Okay, and it looks like the echo actually stops right here. So let me backtrack. Again, I'm just holding it down, and in this case, dragging my mouse over. Let's listen from the beginning over here to about here, and let's see if that's my echo. The background, if your little sibling is yelling and having a fit, all of that is. Okay, so that's the part that I actually want to cut out. I no longer want that. I can select the scissors and it's going to cut that completely out. Or if I want to add that to a different spot in my track, then I can copy it and then paste it wherever I want it. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Notice that that entire section is cut out. I can listen to what my recording sounds like again by highlighting. Whatever you highlight is going to receive the next action. Select play. Your dog is barking and it's going to be recorded. Okay, so that's what I want my audio recording to sound like. So far, so good. This last part here, let me go ahead and listen to that because I'm going to show you how to copy and paste something. You have to click stop. Okay, so let's say that I wanted this part that says you have to click stop, but I want it in the beginning of my audio recording. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. Whatever is highlighted is going to receive the action, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go all the way over to the beginning of my recording, and I'm going to select where I want that to be pasted to. If I select that, it's now pasted to the front. Notice I didn't cut it out. It's still here in the back too. And now it's also in the front. Let's push play and see what that sounds like. You have to click stop. Now that's going to include, okay, so now I'm gone ahead and I've copied that portion of my audio recording and I've pasted it in there. The other thing that you need to do with your Elements project is you have to know how to insert music. In order for that to happen, you have to have an MP3 file somewhere accessible. For some of you, you already have MP3 files on your laptop, so you can attach a device that's going to give you those MP3 files. Some of you, however, are probably going to want to use YouTube to MP3 converter to find those audio files or to convert those audio files. So you're going to go ahead and open up a browser. I'm going to go ahead and open up Chrome. And I'm actually going to open up two tabs. My first tab, I'm going to open YouTube to MP3. And I'm going to hit enter. The very first site that's pulled up is the site that's owned by YouTube, which is in turn owned by Google. It's called YouTube to MP3 Converter. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this is the tab that I want open. The next tab that I want open is just plain YouTube, because this is where I'm going to search for the music that I want to use in my Elements project. So you're going to find a song that goes along with your advertisement. It might be a song related to your elements. So if you're doing gold, it might be a song related to gold. If your advertisement is kind of fast-paced, then you're going to want to choose music that corresponds to whatever it is you're doing in your advertisement. So in this case, I'm just going to search a random song. Okay, once I find the song that I want, I've already checked this song, so I know that it's completely school appropriate. One of the things you're going to want to do is when you choose your song, make sure it is completely school appropriate. Okay. Notice that this song is 1 minute and 59 seconds. I'm not going to need all of that. I'm only going to use a part of that in my audio recording, but I'm going to show you how to cut it down to size. So once you have the song that you want, you selected it, and you've checked it for appropriateness, you're going to go up to the URL. and you're going to copy it. You're going to go to your YouTube to MP3 converter, and you're going to paste it. And then you're going to select Convert Video. As soon as you select that, your song pops up and you want to hit Download. Okay. It's going to save that music in your Downloads folder. Okay. I would highly recommend you take that file and that you save it in your H drive so that when you want it later on, you know where it is. Okay. Okay. So there's my song. Now that I have my song saved on my H drive or somewhere on my computer, I'm going to come back to my audio file and I'm going to find the spot that I want that song inserted. In this case, I think I'm going to go ahead and insert that song in the very beginning of my audio track. Wherever you place your cursor, that's where the action is going to be done. So I want the song to be imported here. To import a song into your audio track, you're going to go up to File, and you're going to go to Import, and what you're importing is an audio file. You select Audio, and a screen is going to pop up that's asking where that file is found. Yours is going to look a little different than mine because I'm on a Mac. Okay, it's in my Downloads folder. This is the song, the MP3 file that I want. When I select Open, I want you to notice that back here, this audio file that was only 19 seconds long is going to grow by 19 seconds and 1:59 because that's how long the MP3 is. Okay, so this is the song that I just imported into Audacity. This is my original track, this is my advertisement, and this is the song. Or I'm sorry, I misspoke. This is the song, and this is my original advertisement. So let's go ahead and click here. We're going to hit play. Background noise you have, so if your mother's calling you, if your dog is barking, it's going to be recorded. Notice that as you're recording, the sound waves are popping up, and when you want to stop recording, you have to click stop. Okay? In this case, you'll notice that the music was playing as I was speaking. You can do that in your advertisement as well, but you want to make sure that your music isn't overpowering your words. Okay? So in this case, what I want to do is you have to have at least 5 seconds of music, I believe, in your project. So I can look at this and say that, okay, from here to about here, that's about 10 seconds. So that's the only part of the audio track that I want. So once I've highlighted it, I'm going to go ahead and copy it. And I'm going to put it in the audio track where I want it. I'm going to select the beginning of my audio track by just clicking my cursor right at the beginning. And I'm going to hit paste. And now the beginning of that song has been put into the beginning of my audio track. I no longer need this music, so what I can do is I can just click this little X and cut it out, and it's going to completely go away. Now if I want to keep it there just to use for later, then I'm not going to X it out, I'm just going to keep it. I can mute it so that I'm not going to hear it when I'm listening to the rest of my audio track, but in this case I know that I'm done with it, so I'm just going to go ahead and X out. And now when I go to my original audio track and I select play,
before I answer the question, did I do my homework? I'd like to take this opportunity to...
Now that's going to include any... Okay, notice that the music goes exactly where I put it in my audio track, but I don't really like the way that sounds. You know, I think ideally I'd like that to fade in as opposed to just stopping the music and then going to my voice. So one of the things you're going to use is you're going to use this little magnifying glass, and this magnifying glass is going to elongate those waves so you can see exactly where the words are and exactly where the breaks are, so that you can then determine where you want to add that fade in, fade out effect. I think this is the end of the song and this is the beginning of my speech. So let me start there. Select play just to listen to it. Okay, perfect. So I know that I want to add an effect to this part of the song so that when my voice comes in, the song is starting to fade out. Again, whatever you highlight is going to receive the action. So I'm going to highlight that part of it. I'm going to go up to Effect, and I'm going to change the effect to Fade Out. Okay, now when I play, I should notice that as the music comes to this selection, it's going to start to fade out, and then my voice is going to be right here.
This opportunity to
Now that's good. Okay, you need two effects. That's one of the effects that you can use in your project. So I like the way that sounds, and now I'm all done with my project. Your project has to be at least 90 seconds. Okay, you'll notice that this one is only 26 seconds, so this would not be a complete advertisement for Mrs. Martin's project. Your advertisement needs to be a minute and a half long. But let's say that I'm done working for it today. There are two ways to save this project so that, one, you can work with it, and then the second way is actually saving it so that Mrs. Martin can hear it as an audio file. If you go up to File and you do Save Project As, it's going to say that when you save this, you're saving it as an Audacity project and it's not actually an audio file. If you want to save it for audio file, then you actually have to use Export. So this is what I'm going to show you how to do. Right now we're just going to save it as an audio file. I'm going to select OK. And then it's going to say, where do you want this file saved? In my case, I'm going to save it on my desktop just so I can listen to it or have it handy for later. And I'm going to call it Element. Notice down here that it's telling me it's saving it as an Audacity project. It is not an audio file yet. Mrs. Martin cannot click on my AUP file and listen to it. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Now I'm going to completely X out of Audacity. I no longer need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. When I take a look on my desktop, this is the file that I saved called Element. You'll notice that it's an Audacity file because it has the exact same icon as the program icon. Okay? When I double click on this, it's actually going to open up Audacity. It's my project file. Mrs. Martin cannot click on this to listen to it. Go ahead and double click on it. Now that it's open, I can continue to work with this file in any way that I want. Okay, but let's say that I'm completely done. I love the way it sounds. It's 90 seconds. I have my 5 seconds of music. I have my 2 effects in there. Now, in order to give this to Mrs. Martin, you're going to have to do a File, Export Audio, and then it's going to create this file or change this file into an audio file. It's going to change it into a .wav or a .mp3. So we're going to go ahead and export the audio. It's going to say, where do you want to save it? Again, for me, it's trying to save it in my Audacity folder. You guys would select your H drive, wherever it is you want it saved. For me, I'm just going to do it on my desktop. And right now it's telling me that it's saving it as a WAV. I can actually change this to MP3. Okay, when I do that and click Save, another window is going to pop up. On this window where it says Artist Name, please put your name. Where it says Track Title, please put the name of your element and then just select OK. And select OK. Now I can actually X out of Audacity. I can close that program. And when I go to my desktop, I'm going to notice that this is the file that was created for me to turn in to Mrs. Martin as my finished product. When I click on that, in your case, it's going to open up Windows Media Player or VLC Media Player, and then that file is going to automatically play. This, you do not want to upload the file that looks like this. This is just your project file. You do, however, want to upload the file that looks like this.
The question, did I do my homework? I'd like to take this opportunity to...
Now, that's going to include any background noise you have, so if your mother's calling you, if your dog is barking, it's going to be recorded. Notice that as you're recording, the sound waves are popping. Okay, so File, Save Project As gives you the format where you can then go back in and edit your Audacity file. Once you export as an audio file, you're going to have a WAV file or an MP3 file. This is the one that you want to upload.